Hello, everybody. I'm Christina, and I'm really sorry for the technical difficulties that we had earlier. So sorry. I know that a lot of y'all aren't getting notified too, but hopefully you will this time. And I'm also hoping that this time there won't be the buffering issues that we had earlier. I went outside, there was a lot of clouds up there, and it looks like it's sunny right now. So we're going to try this again. In the previous video, I was bringing up the CDC zombie thing, which was starting to scare people because it was mixed with a Nostradamus prophecy. But I didn't see a quatrain for that. And what it really turned out to be was just simply the CDC trying to have awareness for all emergencies. It's just kind of the way that it came across, I think, because they even had a kit, under the zombie apocalypse thing. But that's okay. But there are some real issues that we do have to worry about. And that is why I wanted to go over the propane shortage issues that had been occurring. And it looks like, in a way, it's starting to iron itself out a little bit. But as of the last week, as far as the research I could do, it was kind of sketchy. And that's what we were kind of going over when we got cut off were the articles that we were that I'd seen. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and look at these articles one more time. California was having a propane tank shortage due to outdoor dining needs. Mont Belvieu, Texas, said that propane prices rose to above 95 cents per gallon for the first time since October of 2018 and are up more than fourfold from an all-time low hit in April. They were talking about lockdown sent energy prices collapsing, sales to stuck-at-home Americans and restaurants, okay? But AgFacts is reporting as of March 1st that price climb continues, propane stocks lower. The U.S. average regular gasoline retail increased nearly 8 cents to $2.71 per gallon on March 1st, 29 cents higher than the same time last year. But at the same time, there might be a little relief in that because Dabu reported that Tesla is trying to plug in a secret mega battery to the Texas grid, which I hope is true. Hello, CS, and to everyone that is here already. And thank you always for the thumbs up. So glad always to see you guys. And when you say hello in the chat, okay, there's a lot more to talk about than just the propane shortage update. So I hope that y'all stick around because there is quite a bit to talk about. Now, there was this one article. It came out February 13th, though. Propane shortages, skyrocketing prices, problems ahead. Okay, but I really think that this had a lot. Really, it wasn't just the perfect winter storm for them. It was the perfect storm, period, for that. But I think we're going to be okay as long as we can get these rigs, people out there on the rigs and the processing plants going and the deliveries, as long as we can get those out, then I think things might go back to normal for a little while. But I strongly urge everyone to try to keep propane in their stocks because, again, there's always going to be a disaster, which is kind of what the CDC is really trying to promote with their zombie apocalypse, is that you should be ready for all kinds of disasters, medicine kits, things like that. And that would include propane. But what else is going on as far as the shortages around the world? They're saying that after the Texas storm, food and water shortages in some areas persist. Houstonians are reporting food shortages at the Family Dollar and Dollar General stores. Tucson, Arizona reports that local animal shelters are in dire need of food donations for their pets. Customers in general around America are having trouble finding canned cat food. New York reporting nationwide shortage of feta cheese. But this is an odd story because they're saying it came from an old, I don't know if it was an Instagram or what, but it was somebody's old 3-year-old recipe got out that called for feta cheese, went viral, and now there's a shortage of it. But Caitlin Welch of the CSIS Global Food Security Program states that food security will remain an issue until the economy is back on track. So it keeps pushing the urgency to get people back to work, get them back to work so we can get our economy on track, because even though we've got these stimulus checks coming, we still know that 91% of that didn't go to Americans, and that we still have that to pay back. We're strapping ourselves, and we can't get back to work. Okay. All right. Next on the list, okay. Food insecurity is plaguing Baton Rouge and communities across Louisiana. Extreme food insecurity is going on throughout Africa. ABC News reported on March 4th that food and gas prices are on the rise with no end in sight. It is believed that the Texas winter storm shut down the country's biggest refineries, cost more to ship the load out, and supply chain issues. And the supply chain issue is getting really bad in the sense that we're finding out that the shipments have come, but they're all stacked up at the ports. The shipping containers aren't being emptied into trucks and brought to us. They're just sitting there. Another need for America to get back to work, because what good are the shipments if you're not getting it to the people who want to buy it? All right. Maybe all those chips that they need for these boards could be in one of those crates, and a whole bunch of feta cheese. But we wouldn't know because there's nobody to go get them. They're there. I want to welcome everyone that is here again. And I'm so glad you're here. Glad that you can join us and see what's going on around the world right now, because this is not everything that's going on, obviously. But this is a good portion of it, because there's always going to be more to talk about. This is just where we are today. The UK is having worries in such a respect that they're actually planning to relax import rules at the border check for food to keep further damage from happening to trade, in an effort to avoid severe food shortages in their country. KHOU 11 is reporting today that Texas will soon have, and this is important, it goes back to you should always be prepared. And so that's really the theme of this. But they're reporting today in Texas. The KHOU 11 website is on the internet if y'all want to go check it out, and you should after I say this. But they're reporting that Texas will soon have a tax-free weekend, April 24th to 26th, for emergency supplies. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that, in a way, they're somehow telling Texans, hey, you need to be prepared. I don't think it was just the winter storm that opened up everybody's eyes, but in the second sense for Texas, to be saying, we believe so strongly that you need to be prepared for disasters, and that we need to give you this tax-free weekend. And I think it should also signal to other people that they should too, because if atmospheric shifting is getting us to the point where Texas and Galveston is getting snow, and the Gulf of Mexico is getting snow in the water, that should be an indication. If Tesla is here plugging in secret batteries to our grid, that should let you know that things have climbed to another level. Zombie apocalypse, maybe we could. I don't know much about zombies. I don't know. I do know that there's a verse in the Bible that says people will wish for death and it'll flee from them, but I don't know what that's from. I really don't. Zombie apocalypse, I think they did a good job, CDC, just to get it in everybody's head, what if the worst did happen? I heard that Texas storm was weather a lot of people have heard that, but it couldn't be. I mean, that's what I've been really talking about a lot on this channel, is that what happened was an atmospheric shift because of a weakened magnetosphere that we're all very aware of, and that we're in magnetic pole reversals. This was one of those things where the weather becomes very extreme. So I could see where people keep saying that, but I know that that's not what it was. This was natural. That's what I think personally. It wouldn't make sense, but but in an effort to get back to the tax-free weekend, It's not going to be on everything you might think is our emergency supplies, but what they are definitely, and there's a whole list on this KHOU 11 website about what is and isn't. I got most of it, which you can and cannot get on this tax-free weekend. But what you can get is some power generators under $3,000 tax-free, emergency ladders, batteries, carbon monoxide detectors, hurricane shutters. That's cool. Coolers, first aid kits. That's a big one to have. Especially in Texas, around where I'm from, to make sure you have like some calamine lotion for your poison oak and poison ivy, hydrocortisone cream. But they also, so the first aid kits, they'll be tax free. Mobile phone batteries, can openers that are not electric, handheld can openers, fire extinguishers, hatchets are going to be tax free. Fuel containers, anchor and tie down kits. That's what I need for my trailer here, is an anchor and tie down kit. I'll probably be up there with my money trying to find those that weekend, because hurricane season's coming up. Light sources like candles, flashlights, and lanterns will all be tax free, as well as tarps. Not included on the list that I saw were camping supplies like camping stoves, plywood, chainsaws, tents, and cleaning supplies will not be tax free. See what's going on over here. Seed man, the tipping point is coming. I honestly think that we're about there. There's no going back. But the tipping point, yep. I think we're in the middle of seeing that happen. We've got a lot of asteroids coming through and space hurricanes. We were just going over that the other day, weren't we? Something's going on. Something's going on. The birth pangs that are from the Bible are real. Okay, so we went over the propane shortages, but we have yet to talk about the plane crashes. I wanted to go ahead and mention, we did have that sonic boom everybody's talking about. First, it was UK meteor, and then it was Vermont recently that it came through. It broke up coming through the atmosphere at 47,000 miles per hour on Sunday. Isn't that crazy? So let's go ahead and get to the plane crashes. We're going to start with March 8th. I haven't looked at any of them from today, but that's okay. We'll pick up that list later. And all of these, again, are going to be crashes that are similar to the ones I've mentioned in those circumstances the last two videos. March 8th, Boeing 737. It's a lot of Boeings. When it's the bigger plane, it's always the Boeing, it seems like. 737, 6H3. It was in Tunisia. 0 fatalities, loss of cabin pressure. Now, the reason I wrote this one down is because there might have been a windowsill issue. There might have been somewhere where a seal was loose. But it could have also been the pressurization system having technical difficulties, which would go to grid issues on the plane. So I went ahead and put that one in there until if we are able to learn more about that. But I put that one on there because it was a possibility. March 7th, small plane crashes into Lake Harris in Florida after suffering mechanical issues, no fatalities. March 7th, still Normandy, France, an Aerospatiale AS-350B. It's kind of Frenchy, the words. Ucurial helicopter, 2 fatalities. The helicopter crashed soon after takeoff from a private property. The pilot and lone passenger died in the crash. Now, the people, they sounded kind of important, to be honest. The deceased passenger has been identified as Oliver Dassault, heir of late Serge Dassault, himself son of Marcel Dassault, founder of Dassault Aviation. So they had their own company, and so flying would be in the family. So the fact that this helicopter took off, crashed right after takeoff with these 2 people in there, just seems very odd. Okay. Same day in Toledo, Spain, a Schleicher ASK-13 small plane, 2 fatalities, crashed under unknown circumstances. Detroit, Michigan, Embraer EMB 120ER Brasilia. That's the kind of plane it was. No fatalities, performed a gear up landing, returned within 30 minutes after takeoff. So there's another gear issue. March 6th, there were 2 of them. Anderson County, Texas, small plane crashes near FM 1990. 2 seriously injured occurred, again, not far from an airport. March 6th, private helicopter, Australia, was en route when it crashed. No fatalities, no further details. So let's see how we're doing here. We got 9 people here. Okay. Oxygen is running out. Wow, haven't heard. Jesus. Hello, false prophet hunter. Hello. It's good to see you. Passover will be very interesting time. So do I. I mean, do y'all notice that September, was it 23rd, 2017 was when that Revelation 12 sign happened? And I'm pretty sure that at the end of March would be the 3.5-year anniversary of that. And remember, it said, what was it, 1,260 days after she gave birth, right? Something was going on. She had 3.5 years in the woods after she had the baby. Well, that's 1,260 days. So I was kind of just looking for that anyway. But combined with everything else that's going on in the world, I'm pretty interested too. I mean, I am. My neighbors and I were getting ready to plant our gardens after everything just died. But in the back of my head, I'm hoping that we don't get another winter storm in, because last year, it was like May, almost June, or slightly into June, we got another freeze. So the weather's been really wonky. It would be, it's just kind of trying to get into the jump rope. When do you get in? What do you do? But that's okay. I'm fixing to get this garden started again. And I wanted to go ahead and let y'all know on the food trailer that I actually got the shelf cut. Finally, it's being painted. I've got a couple coats. I even got a little bit in my hair. I had to kind of cut a little bit of the tip off, but everything is starting to come together. It really is. We're going to try to get in there on Friday and pull up the old linoleum and put in the brand new one I got. So we're going to get on the road and be spreading the gospel, feeding the spirit and feeding the body one way or another. That's whenever God's got us to that point. Maybe if it's little by little, we're going to get there. Over Canada, U.S. Sunday, then the plane crashes. No, that's a lot to say in one sentence, false prophet hunter. Meteorite over Canada. Didn't hear about that. We're just going over plane crashes. And after 1,260 days, I'm pretty sure that, what would that be from that Revelation 12 sign? That would be around March 23rd, right? Comets used to be a bad omen in a lot of cultures, ancient cultures. They say they thought it was a harbinger of doom. Okay, cool beans. All right. So we're going to go over this. I'm just going to look and see if there's anything that I missed, because we definitely have the food shortages. We're having the automotive issues. But if we can get people back to work to unload these crates, I bet that would help a lot. Propane shortage, I don't think that's going to be much of an issue as long as things continue to warm up. And if we are able to utilize other forms of energy, even if it's a Tesla battery, firewood, charcoal, I think that we can iron that out just a little bit. But if we keep having problems with petroleum, as far as the pipelines getting shut down and the rigs getting shut down or whatever, that might pose a problem. I do know that the gas prices are pretty high somewhere around the country in places. Yeah, well, I mean, at least they're opening up the trucking hour restrictions and the border things in the UK. But I'm going to go ahead and skip the propane article. And I just wanted to apologize again for the technical difficulties we had earlier. It seems like it's doing a little bit better now. It'll appear, yes, it's been said it will appear by the sun for a few days at Passover. That's something. I'll have to look that up. But it's not a rock comet, it's plasma. A lot of things going on in space. I mean, again, space hurricanes, rock comets, plasma. That's really cool. I was thinking it was like the Angel of Death comet. Ugh. The Angel of Death is real. He's a fourth horseman too. There are a lot of legends about that. It turns out he's an angel of death. Space hurricane. Yep. People are starting to talk about that now. I'm glad I could help break that story. Tomorrow, I wanted to go ahead and talk about how immigration is going and what Texas and Florida are doing to fight back. The progress on the stimulus check that did pass, and it's passing somewhere else, and they're arguing about it here and there. We'll get the progress report on that tomorrow too. But we're going to go into Texas and how it's launching its Operation Lone Star to secure the borders, to fight in the surges against cartels, drugs, and human trafficking. And we're also going to talk about how Texas and the other states are ready for reopen, and the parties that are going to ensue, because you can tell that not everybody's really happy about the mask. Even if it's all the state of Texas, 100% business is back, the clubs are getting backlash already. 100% is 100%, right? But I feel like I'm going to have to check in and see, how much a mayor can do in spite of all that the governor has already said is okay. If one person says okay, does the mayor have the right to go ahead and say, well, no, not the clubs? And even if he does, 100% is 100%, right? Yeah, I was just finished talking about the plane crashes. I just went over the current list. Yeah. I guess maybe it was just how it was worded. That's okay. But that's the rest of this is what we're planning to go over tomorrow. Just checking to make sure we went over all of that. We went over the sonic booms, and to kind of straighten out what CDC meant on their zombie apocalypse. It just was kind of weird that they kind of named it that way, kind of sent some alarm bells. But I'm pretty sure that Nostradamus doesn't have a quatrain saying that the zombie apocalypse is happening in 2021. Some people would argue it's already happened. Anyway, I hope all of y'all have a really great day. God bless you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.